Welcome, everybody. We're going to get started. Thanks for the. All right. Hi, everybody. It's really great to see you, at least virtually. We're just so glad to be in your company as a group and to get to celebrate another year of labor education and our movement. And we want to get started by first just having folks say hello. So in the chat, you can unmute yourself for a minute, just say hi, just so we can feel a little sense of togetherness.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome, welcome. Awesome. Okay, well, we have 34 people and counting joining us today. So we're really excited about that. We're going to dig into the program, and thank you. It was the most beautiful day outside, so just really glad you're here, even if it's on your phone, sitting on your back porch. so just to let everybody know, we'll mostly have people on mute, except for when people are speaking, just so there's no background noise. We're also going to be recording this so that we can share it with folks who can't make it. And if you want to be able to see the slides fully, go ahead and make sure that you choose speaker view in the top right-hand corner. And we want to give Ryan Midair from IBEW Local 134 a shout out because he's a grad, he graduated last year. He shared his rendition of Solidarity Forever. Some folks may remember it, we used it last year, and just appreciate him letting us use it again this year to really set the tone for the event. So as we get started, again, we're just really excited to have you here to celebrate and just spend some time together after such another difficult year, connect, rebuild our energy, re-energize, and celebrate people who have spent a lot of time to fulfill this labor leadership certificate program requirements, as well as our honorees, SEIU, HCII, and the CFL. Next slide. So our plan for today is we'll give a little more information on the raffle and auction in case you haven't joined and would still like to. We're going to read a land acknowledgement. We are going to take a moment of silence for those we've lost this year. Then we'll go back because some of you are fairly new to our community. So we want to just share a little bit about our center, what we've been doing the past year, as well as the upcoming programs that we have on the schedule. Then we'll jump into the ceremony. So we'll jump into the honoree ceremony. We'll have Greg Kelly and Jackie Algie from SEIU HCII talk to us for as they receive the Solidarity Award. And then we have Don Villar from the Chicago Federation of Labor coming to speak on behalf of the CFL for the Friends of the Center Award. And then we'll move on to the graduation ceremony for our 11 amazing graduates. And finally, we will spend some time recognizing everybody who's made this event possible and supported our work, and then announce the raffle winners. All right. So to dig into what the raffle is, if you haven't had a chance to join yet, we encourage you to. We've got some great prizes in there. This is the first time we're trying a virtual raffle. And all you have to do, you can either go on your computer to this website that you can see on there, and Jess will be putting it in the chat as well. You may have seen in the chat earlier, but if you can log in there, you could also just text DePaul LEC to the number on the screen. Okay. So, and then it'll send you a text message and let you sign in. Just follow the prompts to fill out your contact information, and then you can just check out the raffle and auction items on the menu in the upper left-hand corner if you're on your phone, and then on the side if you're on your computer. If you have any questions in the meantime, as you're trying to navigate that, feel free to text Rosa Delgado, Rosa, who's our advisory committee member and is here as well. So if you have any issues or it's just confusing, go ahead and give her a text. There's also a link that you can see, Jess, I don't know if you can add it there, but if you get a little confused, you can check out there. But we hope it should be very easy. And we hope it doesn't, too complicated, but if it is, just let us know. All right, next. All right, let me make sure this is bigger for myself. So you may have seen at other events, more folks are trying to show some respect to the fact that, we are on land that was colonized. Few of us are originally the original peoples from this area, so we want to give some acknowledgement to the folks whose land this was originally. So this is DePaul University's land acknowledgement. At DePaul University, we acknowledge that we live and work on traditional native lands that are home to well over 100 different tribal nations. We extend our respect to all of them, including the Potawatomi, Ojibwe, and Odawa nations, who signed the Treaty of Chicago in 1821 and 1833. We also recognize the Ho-Chunk, Maya, and Menominee, Illinois Confederacy, and Peoria people who also maintain relationships with this land. We acknowledge that these sacred homelands were ruptured by the European invasion of the Americas. In 1493, Pope Alexander VI promulgated the Doctrine of Discovery, which sees native lands and resources with impunity. This doctrine has been used by countries throughout the Americas, including the US, to legitimize colonial policies of displacement and genocide towards native people and to justify colonial legacies of white superiority and global capitalism. We appreciate that today, Chicago is home to the 6th largest urban native population in the United States. We further recognize and support the enduring presence of native peoples among our faculty, staff, and student body. And in the spirit of St. Vincent de Paul, we reaffirm our commitment, both as an institution and as individuals, to help make our community and our society a more equitable, welcoming, and just place for all. If folks want to learn more about this and see other resources, we do have a link in the ad book that was shared if you want to check into this. And if you want to adopt a similar kind of acknowledgement for your unions and organizations to share respect for the peoples of this land. Rosa, can you go to the next slide, please? So folks, I mean, I know a lot of us have lost people. I don't even know how to really acknowledge that as fully as we must, but we at least wanted to take a minute to honor all of those in our community and across the world that we have lost this year. We lift up those who have died or suffered from COVID-19 or other preventable diseases, people who've died or gotten sick from work-related issues, those who have died from war and white supremacist police and military violence. And we vow to keep working to try to stop this unnecessary death and illness and oppression. And as always, we want to, look to Mother Jones's quotes to remind us to pray for the dead and fight like hell for the living. Let's just take a moment of silence. All right, thank you all. As we dig into the rest of the ceremony, we just wanted to share a few words from our amazing Dean Tatum Thomas. She is relatively new to DePaul. She came just over a year ago in the midst of the beginning of the pandemic. And she's been a great supporter of our center so far and just really excited about our work. She couldn't be here today, so she wanted to send this message. Go ahead, Rosa.
Hello, I am Dr. Tatum Thomas, DePaul University's Dean of the School of Continuing and Professional Studies. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Labor Education Center's annual fundraiser. Behind me, you will see the phrase, "Here we do." This phrase and others like, "What else must be done?" are commonly used within our community. Our university is committed to outstanding teaching, academic excellence, real-world experience, community engagement, and systemic change. As we honor our graduating Labor Leadership Certificate Program students and the recipients of the Solidarity Award and Friends of the Center Award, we acknowledge them for commitment to creating and supporting transformational labor movements. As Dean, I'd be remiss if I did not speak directly to our certificate graduates. Graduates, as you move forward, remember to embody the essence of progress, transformation, and impact. Build the capacity of unions, worker centers, and community-based organizations. Remember, progress is coupled with duty. In this case, it is the duty to significantly improve rights and conditions for the workers of today and tomorrow. And with that, I'll let you continue with today's festivities. Thank you for your generosity and unrelenting support and commitment. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Rosa. And I forgot to introduce myself as I always do, but for those who I don't know yet, my name is Jessica Cook-Qureshi, and I'm the director of the center. And I'm going to pass it now to Jessica Espinosa, our associate director. Thanks, Jess.
Great. Well, we have a lot of friends here today, and it's really good to see everybody. But for those that may not know as well, the roots of what is now the DePaul University Labor Education Center goes back to 1948. Since that time, we've served as a resource for students, labor activists, academics, and community leaders seeking a deeper understanding of labor issues, as well as tools to gain economic justice for poor and working class people. This is a little bit of what we do in terms of our adult and youth programming, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the next slide. During the past year, we worked really hard to adapt and expand our programming to meet the needs of our movement, even as times have been trying. Some of the things that we've done is we taught 8 virtual labor leadership certificate program courses. So we modified all of our curriculum to be delivered virtually. And in doing so, we actually saw that our normal enrollment size increased. For some folks, it was actually easier to access than attending in person. We conducted 10 trainings virtually as well to unions, community groups, university staff on different topics such as organizing, legal rights, as well as how to actually facilitate these online, forums that we are finding ourselves in. We've delivered our 2020 Regina V. Polk Union Summer School and Breathing Rosenberg Summer Internship programs virtually as well. We reformatted our 2021 Regina V. Polk bargaining role plays to be delivered online. And we also included a version focusing on health and safety in light of what's going on with the pandemic. We created a weekly newsletter that we hope you're all subscribing to, and increased our social media presence to be able to provide a labor perspective on current issues. We are really trying to serve as a clearinghouse around COVID-19 and other labor-related events, resources, and information. And if there's anything you'd like for us to pass along, please send it, and we will do so. We have helped organize conferences, including the United Association for Labor Educators conference a couple weeks ago, the upcoming Labor Research Action Network conference. We launched our first college fellowship for worker justice that we'll talk about for 10 DePaul University students. We created our new alum fellowship, alum to continue their education, networking, and solidarity building. And with numerous partners, including some of you here on this call, and in particular, the UIC Department of Public Health and the Chicago Federation of Labor, we've helped reignite the Chicago Area COSH Network. Next slide, please. So we want to go into a little bit of these details and give a special shout out. All of our work really is the culmination of many people, and we take pride in having courses that are taught by folks that are experienced working in the labor movement. Our guest instructors are a valuable addition to our classes. They share their real world knowledge. And we want to thank Steve Grossman, former advisory committee member, Meg Lewis, advisory committee member from AFSCME Council 31, Stephen Mittens, president of AFSCME Local 2081, and Janelle White, advisory committee member and organizer with Temp Worker United Alliance Project. Next slide, please. We want to give a special shout out to our coaches. This whole hour is going to be full of celebration and congratulations and thank you. So Jackie Algie, SEIU, HCAI, Kristen Jefferson, Teamsters Local 705, John Ludowick, Elk Grove Village Professional Firefighters Association, Local 2340, and Adam Shills, retired IEA member. From all of our respective industries, we've seen how difficult this year has been. There's been so many uncertainties to navigate. We saw our school systems hit hard between school closures, online reopening, hybrid schedules, altered schedules, as well as a declining morale of students that have struggled to adapt to online learning. Given the challenges that have been faced by teachers and students, we are especially thankful this year to the commitments that have been made by our coaches and the teachers. Next slide, please. We've been able to have participation from George Washington High School, where we reached 250 students with an adoption of our collective bargaining role play. Ms. Bianchi, Mr. Davis, Mr. Hernandez, Mr. McDonald, Mr. Martinez, and Ms. Zamora. We also want to give a shout out to Niles North High School. We reached 30 students, and this was where we actually did an adaptation focusing on bargaining over health and safety issues through a health and safety committee. In particular, the teachers there, Christy Pomeranke Schneider, Pankaj Sharma, and Laura Wright. Next slide, please. In addition, we want to acknowledge our first cohort of College Fellowship for Worker Justice Fellows. Allison, Ali Marcella, Athena Clark, Emmanuel Arturo Flores, Aaron Hughes, Juliana De Leon, Molly Linkles, Natalia Cesar, and Megan Truelove. We are so proud of them for taking on this extra endeavor in addition to their coursework, and want to acknowledge the significant time and energy that they put in to learn more about their rights, how to stand up for rights generally, how to stand up for themselves and others. We look forward to continuing to support their growth and involvement in the labor and larger social justice movement as the next generation of labor leaders. As a special note, Ali, Aaron, and Natalia are each graduating from DePaul next week. Big congratulations there. And Emmanuel has just been hired as a summer intern with Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters in the communications department. Of course, they're all looking for opportunities to stay engaged in the movement. So if you know of any positions or other opportunities, please let us know for this group as well as future fellows. Next slide, please. Finally, a heartfelt thank you to all of you who donated in our fall fundraiser. The fall fundraiser is really focused on building funds to support the youth programs that we just mentioned. We're deeply committed to facilitating an intergenerational labor movement and lifting up the youth as future labor leaders, all of which cannot be done without you. So please take a few seconds to look over this slide and know there's 2 more slides coming up. So it really takes a village, and we're proud to have the village represented here. Okay, next slide, please. All right, you can see we've been really busy this year, and we'll be keeping up the work to make sure that our center is providing as much information, education, and resources as possible. And we've been ramping up our online skills, which is yet another reason why we appreciate any support you can give. We do want to mention some upcoming dates. You can see the links in the chat. We'll be putting those in there. And you can also follow up with us via email for more details. There is the LRAN conference that is coming up. There is our high school June 18th. If there are any high school age youth that you know that could benefit from this, please send them our way. We have our fall classes, which you can register for, more details about our alum network, our weekly newsletter sign up, and then the Chicago Area Council on Occupational Safety and Health details. So again, for more information, reach out to us, please. Next slide. And don't forget, this is a fundraiser, so it's not too late to donate. We're going to be closing the raffle and auction promptly at 3:15, but until then, you can still go to our online auction site. Next slide, please.
Awesome. Thank you, Jess.
So I will pass it over.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Well, thanks again for being here, sticking with us. You know, each year at our fundraiser, especially for those who've been able to come in person to our barbecues, which we really hope we can do next year in person. But we like to spend some time honoring people in our movement who've made a difference, both for the movement, you know, broadly and our center specifically. So as you've seen this year, we are proud to honor SEIU HCII with our Solidarity Award and the Chicago Federation of Labor with our Friends of the Center Award. Next slide, please. So today we have Greg Kelly, president of SEIU HCII, and Jackie Algie, vice president and director of external relations and a proud advisory committee member of our center. The Solidarity Award is, we give that to somebody or to some union or worker center whose important actions in the past year has led by example, strengthened our movement, and helped raise standards for all of us. Throughout this defining year, we recognize SEIU HCII in particular for their advocacy for the rights of frontline workers and BIPOC communities. Early in the pandemic, we saw them and their nursing home members bravely engaged in the Strike for Our Lives campaigns. They highlighted the dangerous and urgent conditions faced by essential workers and their clients. As part of this and their other efforts, SEIU HCII elevated the disproportionate impact of COVID-19 on Black and Brown communities. We also saw HCII boldly stand with the Movement for Black Lives uprisings last summer, modeling the principled stance labor must take against racism and police brutality. Finally, we want to know that Jackie Algie's particularly tireless involvement in our broader community issues on behalf of HCII. This includes her work as a leader in the Illinois Poor People's Campaign, serving on our advisory committee, and partnering with us in the past years over and this coming summer for our Breathing Rosenberg High School Summer Internship Program. Thank you, HCII, Greg, Jackie, everybody, for everything you do for our movement and for our communities. And I'd like to open the space up now for Greg and Jackie to say a little bit about your work. And also, let's give them a round of applause as they come on.
I think I should let Mama J go first. If she's there. And if she's not, and folks don't know, you should know that we all love Mama J, as we call her, Jackie Algie. She reminds me that how lucky I am to work with such amazing people. And, you know, I get the honor of working with her every day, but also calling her Mama J. So Mama J, are you there? And if she is not, I don't want to belabor things. My name is Greg Kelly, and I have the honor of serving as president of SEIU Healthcare, Illinois, Indiana, Missouri, and Kansas, a proud union of 90,000 workers who work in hospitals, nursing homes, home care, and child care. I proudly accept this award on their behalf. So I first want to thank the DePaul University Labor Education Center for this honor, but I want to also acknowledge fellow honoree, the Chicago Federation of Labor, and its president, Bob Reiter, and Secretary Treasurer Don Villar for their tireless advocacy for working people. I also want to acknowledge and congratulate all of the graduates who remain steadfast despite all of the challenges that were faced this past year with COVID. Your tenacity and commitment to the labor movement are certainly worthy of acknowledgement. But as was noted earlier, during the pandemic, our members did not stop working, nor did they stop fighting on behalf of themselves, but also on behalf of the patients, residents, clients, and children that they care for. While, of course, the pandemic was unprecedented, the grit and courage that they've shown was not something new. It's something that they've always done, long before they were called essential. We know, and we've always known, that without them, our nation simply does not work. I personally am grateful for continuing for them and their desire to continue showing up and showing out, again, not just for themselves. As many of you know, as the pandemic grew, it was nursing home workers who were at the epicenter. Residents were dying, and nursing home workers themselves were dying and getting sick. It was and remains, I want to repeat that, it was and remains a scary time. Yet the bosses of the nursing homes refused to acknowledge the dangers they faced and didn't pay them appropriately and failed to get them the proper equipment they needed to protect themselves. Yet they stood up and said, enough is enough. And as a result of that, they settled an industry-setting agreement that provided wages and benefits that changed the ways in which nursing home work was valued. Now, I'm here to tell you, they still don't make what they deserve, but they earned respect, and it makes it clear to the entire industry that is a new day in the delivery of long-term care, not just in nursing homes, but in the entire spectrum of long-term care. Our mantra was, respect us, protect us, and pay us. And now it's an expectation and not simply a rallying cry. Yet the struggle still continues. Hospital corporations continue to put profits over people. Institutions like the University of Chicago, awash in cash, fights tooth and nail to prevent workers at Ingalls Hospital, for example, from getting what they deserve. And the industry writ large continues to be driven solely by profits. Home care and child care work performed mostly by women and predominantly by Black women and Latinas is undervalued, and we continue to fight for fairness for all of them. As we know in this movement, the struggle continues. As I conclude, again, many thanks to the DePaul Labor Education Center for its acknowledgement of our courageous members. They will keep pushing and fighting for what they are deserving and what their communities are deserving of. We look forward to continuing that fight along with all of you. So thank you again on behalf of SEIU Healthcare, Illinois, Indiana, Missouri, and Kansas.
Thank you, Greg. Round of applause. Thank you so much, Greg. It really means a lot to us. We really look to you. You inspire us, you and all of HCII, just doing such important work and really leading our movement with the right values. And just really grateful to continue and grow the work that we're doing together. So thank you. And also thank you again for hosting the past few summers and the coming summer. Our interns, they learned so much from you. So thank you.
Thank you. We love doing it.
Good.
And for the Sox fans the Sox are ahead 3-0. Just saying.
Sorry, guys. I know I didn't know we were conflicted with that too. Thanks for the update. Thank you. Thank you so much, Greg.
Thank you.
And thank you for everything you're doing, and keep us posted however we can be supportive. Great. Well, next, Rosa, you want to bring up the slide for a second? All right. So next we want to, sorry, let me just pull this up. Yeah. Next slide. Thanks. Great. So this year we are honoring the Chicago Federation of Labor with the Friends of the Center Award because they've shown incredible support and commitment to the center in recent years, particularly Dawn, who we'll talk about a little bit more. But just to give you guys some background, the CFL has actively distributed information about our programs throughout their very vast networks and provided critical contributions to our fundraisers. We also have collaborated together on the Temp Worker Union Alliance project, TUOP, over the past few years as well. Time is flying. And the recent relaunch of the Chicago Area Council on Occupational Safety and Health Network, which again, we'd love to have more of you involved. It's the importance, the whole idea of it is that it's a network. So we've just got it started. It's just the very beginning planning stages. So please join in if you're able to. Finally, we want to highlight the support provided in particular by Secretary Treasurer Don Villar in consistently providing helpful feedback in our efforts, engaging community and labor partners in our work, plugging us into current issues where appropriate, attending our events, and speaking at last year's fundraiser, if you'll recall, as well as last summer's Regina V. Polk High School Union Summer School, and just being involved and supportive of us in all capacities. So I just want to thank you, Dawn, and all of CFL for all you do for our Center for Labor Education and for the movement as a whole. And let's give them a round of applause, and then let's have Dawn speak for a few minutes.
Thanks, Jess. Thanks so much for for those kind words. And also, thanks for all the work that you all do at the center. It's always great to hear from my brother, Greg Kelly, executive board member at the CFL. This is, I think, the work that you do at the DePaul Labor Education Center. It's critical, especially preparing new activists and advocates, the younger generation, right, and bridging that gap, and that's so important. So and I think you highlight some of the great work that we've worked on together. Your participation and the center being part, and a lot of our discussion on the industrial labor here in town, the Manufacturing Industrial Labor Committee, as well as the Temp Worker Union Alliance Project. I saw Tim Bell is on here, and that great work trying to bridge the gap between temp workers and labor unions, and filling that void, and raising up giving worker power, especially where in that space where there are none, where workers are often marginalized. So, thanks for all the great work that you all are doing, especially Tim and the Temp Worker Union Alliance Project. And you mentioned CACOSH, or Chicago Area Committee on Occupational Safety and Health, and this past pandemic year, right? It really highlighted the need for that and the importance that we have to be there. So yeah, it was really great. This is such a great thing, and protecting the workers, keeping workers safe. We saw when this pandemic hit, we had dozens of union members die, pass away. So the work that you are doing and trying to restart that and bringing that back up is so critical now, and more so now than ever before. And again, getting people ready. I see a lot of our affiliates are on this, are part of the DePaul Labor Education Center, helping them with stewards training and activist training. And that is so critical, for the labor movement. We can't do it all alone. And we also need people like you at the DePaul Labor Education Center to help us, to empower, to educate, to get our stewards and our activists ready for the fight ahead. And I know we've always had. I do appreciate all the academic discussions that we've had at the DePaul Labor Education Center. Some other ideas. That's one great place to really bounce some ideas. How would this look? And how would this, to increase worker power and just to empower, raise the specter of some of our activists. So, and just all the great things that you guys do. And I'm glad. Thank you for thank you for the partner award. It's so important, and it means a lot to Chicago Federation of Labor. And I know from myself and President Bob Ryder and the staff at the CFL, being engaged in community and other folks in the labor movement is what we desire, what we really love to be in that space. So on behalf of Bob and myself and the CFL Executive Board, the staff, and 500,000 union members in Chicago and Cook County that they represent, thank you for this award.
Thank you, Don. Round of applause. Thank you so much, you guys. So I'm happy to say Jackie Algie was actually able to join. There's some technical difficulties. So just to kind of wrap us all up, Jackie's going to speak a little bit about our work together as well. Welcome, Jackie. And thank you so much. Give her another round of applause too.
Oh, thanks, Jess. And hello to everyone, all of my brothers and sisters in the labor movement and beyond. It's really good to be here today to just see your faces. I mean, if things are opening up gradually, and some are even faster than gradual, but we're good. We're really pleased to know that in spite of being in a pandemic state and in spite of being closed off from one another with the exception of being on Zoom, we've got some amazing work that has taken place this past year. So just to give you an example, for the DePaul Labor Education Center, we partner with them. When I'm speaking of we, I'm speaking specifically of SEIU Healthcare, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, and Missouri. We partner with them every year to bring interns into our space, into our office, into our work more specifically. And it doesn't just speak to the labor movement, but in addition to that, the justice movement, social justice, economic, racial justice movement that, we all should be about and concerned with. And so we've been working with them for the past 3-4 years now. And we're excited to announce that we've got a great program that we've got lined up. As a matter of fact, we're meeting on tomorrow to finalize the plans for that, and just look forward to having those students, because what we know is, those of us in the labor movement, we know that labor has had its issues in terms of, density and growing population of people who would know what the labor movement meant, but not only know about it, but sign on to being a part of it and helping it to grow. And so that is one of the things that this partnership offers, is that it not only educates young people on what the labor movement is, but it also gives them opportunity to be involved in the labor movement from the standpoint of coming to our office, working with people, from our various divisions and our community partners. So speaking of our community work, one of the things that I'm really proud about that we've done in this past year is we've been members of the CHEC Coalition, which stands for Chicago Health Equity Coalition. And we have really, I take credit. Not me personally, but credit for the coalition in helping to keep Mercy Hospital open. As you know, Mercy Hospital is the oldest hospital. Yes, thank you, Jess. Oldest hospital in the city of Chicago, and it was threatened to be closed during the pandemic. Really? Not to mention, the longevity of it, just the history and the need for that community to have a full service hospital available to the residents, and certainly for the people that work there. And so we've worked to make sure that the hospital stays open, that the community has real voice in helping to make, not only keep it open, but to make sure that it does what it's supposed to do, as the Sisters of Mercy said in their agreement originally, and that was that it be a full service hospital with all of the services that are needed and should be provided to the community that it serves. And so we're proud to be partners of that. And the work still continues. I know you've seen things and heard things in the news, but the work still continues. And then some of our other community work that we're proud of that is akin to that or associated with healthcare specifically, is making sure that we have representation on the hospital board, the state board, so that people that are from the community can have a voice in what helps to serve their community and help to make those decisions. And so we've had legislation that we've been working on with that. We're also working on the Recovery Act and making sure that when money comes to the state of Illinois, it goes to the right places, not, and labor and people that provide services every day, tip workers, and the like, get paid one fair wage, right? And not only that, but they get the respect on the job that they deserve. So how does that happen? Oftentimes that happens and is seen through wages. And we just don't want people to be in a situation where they're working for nothing. We want them to be able to take care of themselves. That's what labor is about, right? We fight for workers every day to make sure that they earn the kind of money that they need to take care of themselves and their families and contribute to their communities. And so we're working on that as well. So we got our work cut out for us. The Illinois Poor People's Campaign, we're holding a press conference on tomorrow, and that's one of the coalitions that we're members of as well. And this is to lift up an act that is going to be presented to Congress on the 22nd or 21st rather of June. And it's the Third Reproduction Act. And so I can put that link in the chat and go on and see what's going on, not just here locally, but what is happening nationally that can impact us all. So I thank you for this time. Jess, it's always great to work with you. And it's great to see all of our friends, and let's just keep the fight going. I just left a church service a little while ago, the welcome service of Father Flager coming back. And one of the things he talked about is coming back with a vengeance, not vengeance to really lash out at people, but vengeance in the sense of continuing to do the work. So we all need to just keep doing the work in order to make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you so much. I learned so much from you and I'm so inspired by you. And yeah, you do so much for us. And I have youth on here who got to work with you and or seen you speak, and just Emmanuel's over like, I remember Jackie. So you make a real impact. Thank you for everything.
Hey, oh, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
That's why we call her Mama J. See that?
Oh,
Exactly. Thank you so much, you all. It's really, yeah, it's really an honor to get to spend time with you and to learn from you. So thank you. Well, we want to move on to other folks who've learned, our graduates. But before we do, as Jess said so perfectly, this is a fundraiser. So if you haven't gone on to the auction or raffle, you still have time, just a little bit more time. Let's really, do this one good this year. You have 29 minutes until we close the auction and raffle. So one more plug. Go ahead and check it out. Again, if you're having troubles, let Rosa know. And but while you're doing that, we want to start the graduation ceremony for our awesome Labor Leadership Certificate Program graduates. Rosa, yep, thank you. You're on top of it. Of course. Great. All right. So for folks who may not know a lot about our Labor Leadership Certificate Program, it's comprised of 6 classes, which we think kind of goes over the main things that labor leaders should have the basic tools for. And so we have folks who, just joined a union, not even technical stewards yet, but want to learn more about their rights and how to advocate for their coworkers, to people who've been, staff for 20 years, but want to kind of, upgrade their skills or even just build community with people and hear some other ideas from other folks. We're really proud of this work, and labor education is something that's across the country. And decades ago, in the middle of last century, there was a lot of support as our union was strong for labor education broadly. That support has gone down both financially and politically, as we all know. But we do still have quite a few folks that we are in community with who do labor education as well. And one thing that we think is particularly important about programs like ours is the community you build with people from other unions. And so of course we are so happy that some unions take labor education internally so seriously, and we encourage that as any chance that we can get. We also think our programs feel a real need for worker centers and unions that don't have the funds or the resources to provide that for themselves. But again, the community building, we think it's very important that people get to meet people from other industries and other unions, just to have kind of the big picture and to have the crew, right, to do these fights that we're talking about. So, but to give you a little more background for the folks who are graduating right now, some people doubled up some classes, which they were able to do now that we've got, a different schedule where we have some classes on Tuesdays and some on Saturdays, as well as the virtual. So some people really ran with that, which was awesome. Other folks have taken one at a time, which was the more traditional structure of the Sensors program. But regardless, it's 6 classes to get this certificate. And again, these are, working adults, right, who have lives and, family members that they've got to take care of and themselves, and still do this work. It's 10-week, each class is 10 weeks, which includes meeting and quite a bit of homework. All of the homework, though, was very applied to, either the campaigns that they're involved in or things that hopefully will really help them with their, their work. So, very applied stuff. But the classes include 2 intro classes. The first one really focusing on the role of the steward and labor law. That's our fall intro class, which again, we have an opportunity on Tuesday nights or accelerated Saturdays, if that works better for people's schedules. And similarly, in the winter, we host the written and verbal union communications and meeting facilitation intro class. Then the advanced labor leadership classes, and again, you can take these in any order. You can just take one class if you're particularly interested in a topic, or you can take all of them. But the other classes that we offer are collective bargaining and labor management relations. That's always in the fall. Arbitration and politics is in the winter. And labor history and economics is in the fall. And skills for organizing and basics of health and safety is in the winter. So these are the 6 classes that these awesome folks, put the time and effort to complete, to learn, to grow with each other. And so we're just really proud of them. On top of, many of them are juggling, stuff going on at their own locals and their own workplaces as well, on top of, their own personal lives and work. So it's a real feat, and we really thank them for putting this effort in for our movement to come together and do this work. For folks, I think just put it in the chat, but for folks who are interested in taking these classes, or they know members or other people who might be interested, our next set of classes starts September 14th. We'll keep sending out the information on our newsletter. And just, always feel free to contact us. There's also in the raffle and auction, there's two choices. One choice for intro class as a raffle choice, and another for a bargaining class, both of them in this fall. So if you're interested in that, you might as well try to get a raffle ticket and try to win that for free registration. But yeah, so let's move on. We have most of our graduates were able to join today, so we'll have a minute with them, but we also have some pre-recordings from each of them, just saying a little bit about what they've gained from the class, as well as, what they want to do with that. So Rosa, let's go ahead and dig into those. First, we have, I'll say everybody's name first. So first, Horacio Arce from Teamsters Local 705. He's a union steward, and he had this to say.
The Labor Leadership Program has given me the knowledge and skills to be better equipped in the workforce. Now I have a better understanding of the labor movement thanks to the program. It gave me the confidence needed to be effective when facing adversity. I encourage everybody to take advantage of this great opportunity. It gives you the knowledge and skills needed to organize and be an efficient union member.
Okay, and next we have Rosa Delgado, who's been our tech MC today. She's a union steward and leader of the Federation of College Clerical and Technical Personnel, IFT Local 1708. Let's hear from her.
The DePaul Labor Leadership Program is an amazing program that helps out either new stewards or people wanting to refresh their leadership skills. It has wonderful tools and guides to let us know, us as unions, that we do have all these skills and we have all these rights that we need to be protecting and continue protecting for ourselves and for all our members. The program is so helpful and it is wonderful.
Right, next, Anthony Dowdy, member leader of Teamsters Local 705.
Hey everyone, my name's Tony Doty. Just want to send a big shout out to my local 705 Teamsters for providing me the opportunity to attend the program at DePaul. If you're considering the program, I highly encourage you to do it. I remember 3 years ago, my business agent, Mark Passioni, he kept encouraging me and I finally signed up for it. I'm glad I did. The program's helped me out a lot as far as organizing. In the past, that was one of my weaknesses and I really struggled with getting the members involved. And today I think that it's really helped me out, especially at my new job. And I just want to send a big thank you to Steve and Jessica for being great instructors. And like I said, I encourage everybody to take advantage of the opportunity and attend those classes at DePaul. Thank you.
Great, and next is Jeremy Islander, member leader of Teamsters 705.
Hello friends, I'm Jeremy Islander. I work at T-Force Freight, formerly UPS Freight, and I'm a local 705 Teamster member. I began classes at DePaul Labor Education Center in the fall of 2018. And here we are, 6 semesters and a pandemic later, and now it's June 2021. Over the last 3 years, the Labor Education Center, we've built relationships with other like-minded professionals in many different trades like electricians, nurses, firefighters and bakers, other truck drivers. That networking with other professionals has been fantastic. I gotta look at my notes. I really appreciated learning about the history, the labor history and the sacrifices that labor leaders of years past have made in order for us to enjoy the union and job safety environments that we enjoy today. Steve and Jessica have been amazing. And I'm a semi-truck driver, like I said, and I work 60 plus hours a week typically. And thankfully they understand that we're all full-time working professionals here. I guess the thing that I appreciate and remember the most are the exercises that we did together and the relationships that we built, and the memories will definitely last a lifetime.
Wonderful. And then Kathleen Jensen, who is an organizing intern of SEIU Local 73, but been a member leader for many years. And we worked together a long time ago when I was a leader in the Graduate Employees Organization Union at UIC. So our lives keep intersecting.
I became a union steward in 2012, and the union that I was part of really did not have a steward training program. So everything was on the job training, and I really wanted to know things because I learned them and studied them, not just because I asked someone and went with what they said. And that's what motivated me to take the DePaul Labor Education Program, and getting to know people from other unions and understanding what a union should look like. It helped me to get a vision of what my union could be, and over the years we've been able to transform it, and I think a lot of that is credit to the DePaul Labor Education Program.
Next we have Anitra King. She is the president of SECA, the support staff at Elgin Community College Association.
I was able to learn a lot and use the skills for our negotiating class. I am the president of our support staff union here at Elgin Community College, and it was actually a successful way to be able to communicate with the administrators and the board of trustees. So we actually have a 2-year contract extension coming out of the COVID pandemic, and I just want to say the classes were awesome. I learned a lot, and I was able to understand the history of labor and be able to use that to our
Oh, whoops, we had a little glitch. But thank you, Anitra. Let's hear from Brett Lyons, business rep of IBEW Local 1220.
My name is Brett Lyons, and I am a business representative with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 1220, here out of Chicago, representing the radio and television broadcasters of this great city and the entire Midwest. The DePaul Labor Education Center could not be a better tool for those looking to champion our cause and fight for our movement of fair wages and a better working class. From how to win at the table with collective bargaining, to defending your contract and your rights with arbitration, and everything in between, the DePaul Labor Education Center is a terrific tool to be able to help shape the future leaders of our movement and to keep you yourself sharp throughout your entire career in our movement.
All right, we've got Mike Mola, member leader of Teamsters 705.
Hi, I'm Michael Mola, Teamsters Local 705, mover installer. I'd like to thank the International Brotherhood of Teamsters Local 705, Juan Campos, for giving me the opportunity to attend this labor law leadership course. This course taught me a lot. You know, I enjoy learning the history of unionized labor and how hard our brothers and sisters worked and sometimes lost their lives so that we can have an 8-hour workday, vacations, health and welfare, and etc. Also, more importantly, on how a presidential administration is so important on overseeing the NLRB, you know, preventing unfair labor practices and such. I'd like to thank DePaul University, the rector, Jessica Cook, Karashi, and everyone at DePaul, the Labor Education Center, for a wonderful experience. I highly recommend it. Thank you.
Next, we have Hector Rosa, Union Rep of Illinois Nurses Association and a member of OPEIU Local 9, the INA Staff Union. And Hector and I also go back from doing work together on temp worker advocacy. Let's hear from Hector.
Hello, my name is Hector Rosa Jr. I've recently completed the DePaul Labor Center program. What I received from this program is a lot more confidence in when dealing with management, having to do campaigns for organizing, negotiations, and even writing better grievances. I've made lifelong friends, and I've gotten a lot of input from individuals from different unions. And I have to say, this program has just made me a stronger and better unionist. And I encourage everyone to take this class because you'll only come out a better person and a stronger fighter for the union movement. Thank you.
Next is Marcos Delgado, Union Steward of Teamsters Local 705.
Hello everyone, my name is Marcos Delgado. I'm Union Steward for the Teamsters Local 705. First and foremost, a big thank you to Jessica for agreeing to start the Saturday classes. With my crazy schedule, I couldn't attend the Tuesday night classes. I've been trying to attend this program for over 10 years. So when Jessica agreed, I was the first one to sign up. Thank you, Jessica. This program has taught me so much, from better representing my members, to labor history, to organizing, to negotiating a contract, to bringing a case to arbitration, and much more. I strongly recommend this 3-year program to all those that want to make a difference in the labor movement, in your workplaces and beyond. I am more confident and prepared now to represent my members, and after completing this program, you will too. In solidarity, my brothers and sisters. Thank you.
And last but not least, Patrick Sharp, Journeyman Sprinkler Fitter and JATC Officer of the Sprinkler Fitters Union Local 281.
The program has taught me where we came from in the labor movement, where we are currently in the labor movement, and gives us the tools and knowledge and skill set to take control of our future in the labor movement. My personal quote is, "Our future will not succeed through our individualism, but through our fight for the inclusion of all." And what that means is no one left behind. Get everybody involved. It's our duty as leadership to give our members the knowledge and skill set to fight for our rights.
Awesome. Thank you so much for all these good words, everybody. Rosa, can you bring down the slides and have a chance to say hello to everybody? Again, we just really want to give some respect and some love to all of you who've put this time and energy into your work, as well as the unions that were able to support you in doing this. And just give a minute for people if they want to say anything else, and also a round of applause. I'll just mention Brett, Anitra, and Anthony couldn't make it today just because of schedule, but everybody else is here. So let's give a round of applause. Congrats, you guys. I'm so sorry we can't have cake together in person, and I've said this 2 years in a row, we'll have an extra big cake at next year's barbecue. But yeah, for folks who are here, we've got Horacio, Rosa, Jeremy, Kathleen, Mike, Hector, Marcos, and Patrick. If anybody wants to say something real quick, please do. This is your chance.
I do.
Do it. All right.
You hear me?
Yes.
I just want to, make sure I want to thank Juan Campos and Eddie Vallejo for, giving me the, making it easier for me to take advantage of this opportunity. I want to say thanks to Steve, and you, especially you, because I remember you coming in pregnant and it was a snowstorm and you just made it in. Thank you very much. I appreciate you and Steve and the other Jessica too, for what you do, but thank you very much.
Thanks, Horacio. It was really fun to have you in class. So, and I just want to give a plug again, guys. The graduating class and a couple other folks have helped to get this alum network started. So this is the Alumni Leaders Uniting Movements, sorry. because I can't like not see you guys anymore because we get so tight over these years. But also that's the whole point, like I said, about, you know, being connected for our fights. So just again, you know, you're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Jessica's not going anywhere. We're going to keep working together. And Horacio, you know, I've already pulled you in, and many of the rest of you. So I'm really glad that we're going to keep building together. So thank you so much. And really, I get emotional because I miss seeing you guys so often. So yeah, I'm glad we're going to keep up. So thank you. Anybody else want to say anything? Any of the graduates?
Yeah, I'll go.
Go ahead, Hector.
Thank you. One, Jessica, nobody here is going to understand or realize you really did so much for me, more than just this class. Me having the job at the INA, I owe you so much. And I always talk up the INA as much as I can. Steve Grossman was such a great instructor. I mean, he put things in ways that just helped me understand. You know, Horacio and Marcos, I love that we had that friendly competition. We had a better union. We know it was me. You know, Kathleen, we joked and said we were Team Awesome to the max, but Kathleen at the UIH, you truly were my hero. You are so soft-spoken, but you had management so scared of you. The way the people looked up to you, even the nurses in my union knew who you were. And you really are somebody I want to be when I, you know, the better I get at being a labor leader. You truly are a role model. And I thank everybody in the CFL. You know, you guys are always having I don't think you guys ever say no to a fight. And I love that. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Hector. And thanks. Yeah, you, through everything you pushed through, which is really awesome. And I'm excited to work with you to make sure, you know, that you can keep finishing your degree. You know, there's been some changes to DePaul, but our program can be used towards a degree if folks want to continue the education. So I'm just really excited to keep working on that with you. I'm really proud of you, man. So well done. Anybody else want to say anything? Oh, and I'm sorry, I meant to mention, I don't think Steve is on today, but for folks who don't know, you know, Steve, you know, he retired last year, but he's, you know, he stayed on our advisory committee. And for folks who don't know, he's been brought onto the Illinois Educational Labor Relations Board. So he had to step down from our committee, but he's still doing great work. So it's good to hear all the love for him. And he's just continuing doing cool stuff. So any other graduates want to say anything?
Can I say something, Jess? Hi, everybody.
Please, yes.
Yeah, so not everyone will know that I retired from University of Illinois in December, and I stepped down from my position as vice president at SEIU Local 73. And I stepped down from that position, and then being on strike in September, arm in arm with INA and Hector just was my rock. When I had to speak in a crowd, I had Hector's face in front of me, making me feel calm. And that was the greatest way to retire, to like kick some ass at UIC. And now I'm excited to say that I'm working at Local 73 now. And so I'm looking forward to more fights and solidarity to everyone. Solidarity forever.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for that fight. It was so important. Anybody else? Last words.
Just want to thank Jessica and Steve for all your hard work. And all the guest speakers, the certain class nights that we had show up, you know, take a little, you know, time out of their life to teach us a few things. And it's been a pleasure meeting all of you, having class with all of you. And this definitely isn't an end. We're all gonna stay connected, hopefully, and continue stronger connections and work on the alumni network. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hey, Jessica, I just want to say, I hope you do keep the option of online, because I had to move to Springfield and I was able to complete this because of this option. And I hope you guys can start reaching outside of Chicagoland because of it.
No, thank you for that. And I appreciate you guys pushing to make sure that we had Saturday classes and then to keep pushing access. You know, as everybody knows, we're very, very, very small staffed. But with everybody contributing, we're able to make it work. And I appreciate, you know, you guys making it work too. So yeah, the Saturday classes, but then it's a good time to mention that we do plan for classes next year, even hoping everything is quote unquote back to normal, whatever that means, but mostly virtual, but with 1 or 2 in-person meetings for those who can make it, just to try to have that in-person community. But we do plan to keep most of the classes virtual for access because of people's busy lives and you know, spread out location. So thanks for that. All right, last but not least, if anybody else wants to say something, graduates. Okay, well, it's so good to hear your words, you guys. Thank you so much for this, you know, for all your good energy and your efforts. And we're just excited to see what you make of the alumni network and you know, keeping your fights going. So another round of applause, everybody. If you want to unmute yourselves, let's give a round of applause to our graduates, to our honorees, and to all of you.
Yay! Congratulations! Yay!
Congratulations to all the graduates.
Congratulations. Yes.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
That's great.
705, baby.
Thanks, Jamo.
Baby.
Thank you, brother.
We got another way of saying 705, but this will have to do in this environment.
You're being recorded, yeah. You're being recorded. 1708, yeah, everybody, we got so many great unions here represented. Well, guys, I'm gonna pass it off to Jess. She's gonna kind of bring us home with recognition of everybody, and I am gonna go get prepared to close the raffle and auction in 3 minutes. 3 minutes, everybody. All right, Jess, take it away.
Rosa, if you can pull up the slides again. We have 3 minutes left. Get that prize. We will be announcing winners on the next slide shortly. So as soon as our auction closes, then Jess will be getting everything ready to send a notice to the winners via text. Next slide, please. All right, so we're moving on to our sponsors and contributors. And before we finish up our program, we do want to give another round of appreciation to the many people that have lent their support to our center, to labor education and their commitments. So first, we're going to go to those that have gone above and beyond in providing financial support to the center. And we are pleased to announce and thank this year's sponsors. Next slide. So for the second year in a row, our silver level sponsor is IBEW Local 21. Go ahead and just give a clap to them.
You want to play?
Oh, there was a slide before that. Okay. So IBEW Local 21, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now we're going to go back to the next slide, SEIU HCII. This year's honoree for our Solidarity Center Award. Also a silver level sponsor, clap, and thank you to them. Okay, and now we're gonna go ahead and move on. For the second year in a row, our bronze level sponsor, Teamsters Local 705. I'm gonna keep on clapping on behalf of our center. We want to thank everybody. We are a completely self-funded center for those that didn't know. So without the donations and contributions and sponsorships, this center would not be here. Next slide, please. Sponsoring us once again at the bronze level this year is Powering Chicago. Another round of applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're going to go ahead and move on. For the second year in a row, our bronze level sponsor, SEIU Local 73. Thank you. And we're going to go ahead and move on to this year's honoree for our Friends of the Center Award, the Chicago Federation of Labor, and our bronze level sponsor. Thank you again for all of your financial support. And we're going to go to the next slide. So in addition to our sponsors, thank you to everybody who's already contributed this year on behalf of your organizations, individually, for participating in our auction and raffle. As you can see, it's quite a few folks. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next slide. Again, big round of applause. Thank you. I think I've missed my clapping. I'm just gonna keep, I feel like this whole time I've been wanting to clap and do the heart emoji. Next slide, please. There's so much love in this virtual room and in this community, and we want to thank you all for your support. Financial, your time, your thoughts, your opinions, everything that you all do. Next slide, please. And of course, to our advisory committee. So we had mentioned Mama J, thank you, Jackie Algie, SEIU HCII. Tim Bell, his name was mentioned quite a bit, Chicago Workers Collaborative. Juan Campos, Teamsters Local 705. Jack Caniff, Ironworkers Local 63. Next slide, please. Rosa Delgado with FCCTP IFT Local 1708. Ana Guajardo, Centro de Trabajadores Unidos. Meg Lewis, AFSCME Council 31. John Lodewijk, IAFF Local 2340. Next slide, please. Bob Presbolinski, IBEW Local 21. Frank Rodriguez, IBEW Local 134. Paul Thompson, Ironworkers Local 63. Eddie Vallejo, Teamsters Local 705. Next slide, please. Janelle White with 2 Up. Dolores Withers, FCCTP IFT Local 1708. Paul Wright, IBEW Local 21. Beth Savala, BCTGM Local 1. I do not envy the people that actually read the announcements during the graduate ceremony. So I really hope I did not butcher any initials and names, but thank you to all of you. We're truly a community and we depend on you to continue our work. We really appreciate and are honored and humbled to work alongside you for a stronger labor movement. I will pass it over to Jess if she is available now. Thank you all.
Great. Thank you, Jess, and thank you to all of you. As you might expect, it's taking a little longer to tally the raffle stuff, but we will send that right after we close. Thank you so much for participating, and thanks for your patience as I'm navigating this technology, but we will have that out very shortly. Yeah, just thank you again to everybody. We literally couldn't do this without you, and we wouldn't want to do it without you. This is, you know, we'd love to spend time with you and to keep building with you. Next slide, Rosa. Oh, sorry, next one. The raffle and auction winners will be announced very soon. Just gotta get it in a clean format. So guys, just in closing, you know, thank you again for spending time with us today. Don't forget, we have multiple things coming up. First, we have the Labor Research Action Network Conference, which is this June 16th and 17th. We have the Alum Network gathering, our first, you know, official gathering coming up on July 8th from 7 to 8 p.m. This one will probably be virtual, but we'll hopefully be able to do our other monthly gatherings, at least sometimes in person. Regina V. Polk High School Union Summer School, as just mentioned, that's coming up July 19th through the 23rd. So we'll close, I think the 25th, no, the 18th, I'm sorry, June 18th is when we'll close registration for that. So again, if you know any high schoolers, please send them our way. It's first come, first serve. They get a small stipend and they get to learn all about unions and their rights. Of course, we have the Breiving Rosenberg High School Summer Internship Program coming up again with Jackie and other folks at SEIU HCII and the Chicago Teachers Union as well. Again, this program is not open for people. You have to go through this union summer school the previous summer and then make an application. So another reason to encourage the youth you know to do the summer school this year, because then they can apply for a paid internship next summer. Of course, again, our classes start up September 14th. And, you know, many of you know, we send out a weekly newsletter with all of our, you know, everything we can collect. Please keep sending us stuff that we can share. with the rest of the community. And if you'd like to be added to that listserv, let us know. And that's also where we announce other workshops, but we also put it on our social media. And again, if you haven't already checked it out, please be in touch with us about the Chicago Area Coalition on Occupational Safety and Health, as we're just building it with some of you, the CFL, as we said, as well as UIC Public, the Public Health School, because we want to make sure that this is as inclusive and broad as possible, to make sure that we do, collectively, we can stand up for people's health and safety as much as possible, pandemic wise and in other ways as well. With that, we will close and hopefully see many of you in person very soon, certainly virtual soon. And just thank you again to all of you, to all of our contributors, to our honorees, to our graduates, and just everybody. Thank you guys so much. And our advisory committee, thank you. Take care, everybody. Solidarity.